cash, me and Biggie and the models be. Chicken Nation, Diddy ass, and Parada be. Something you cats got to see and the watches be. All types of shapes and stones, being broke is childish and I'm quite grown. Running up in a club with the ice on, me and Pice on. Scope the spot out to something nice and I'm gone. You cats is home, screaming the vice on. I'm in the 1500 seats, watching tights on. Same night, same fight, but one of us cats ain't playing right. I let you tell it. You place yourselves in the shoes of two felons and tell me you won't fall every chance you get. At any chance you hit, we live for the moment. Make sense?
Check. What's up, world? You tuning in to the Punch Drunk Show. Second word. This is episode 2, man. This is episode 2 that I'm doing. Shout out to everybody that tuned in to the first one and y'all liked it and commented on it. Man, we got some things that have been going on. I've been checking it out and seeing what's going on in the sports world in total. I think we had some we got some good quality subjects to talk about tonight. You know, I know everyone in the world is shocked about last night's upset with the Clippers and the Mavericks. Man, we're gonna get to that. We'll get to that in a second. I definitely want to talk about the Celtics, man. The Celtics and the Miami Heat, man. That series right there is probably right there is going to be a real tough series, man. And to me, it's going to be. I feel it's going to go 7 games. I feel like when it comes to talent wise, that they are even talent wise. Also want to talk about this past weekend. I want to talk about tennis, man. How it went down on the ladies' side. So we're gonna talk about some NFL. We're gonna talk about some music, some baseball. You know, try to put everything into it. Yeah, man. I mean, like, I was reading. I was reading today about the whole Cardi B and Offset getting a divorce, and it's sad because you never want to see people, break up. But my whole take, if I had a take, if I really cared that much, I'm not a person who cares about other people's relationships, and that's just never been me. As long as they are cordial and their co-parenting skills is up to par, it's cool to walk away. You never know who's happy and who's not, and we're not in their life on a daily basis to actually have comments on what went wrong. So I try to stay out of things like that. Just wish them both the best, especially in these upcoming months where it's going to be a little difficult, especially with the media that's going to be the media is going to be putting everything up front. Hopefully there's no backlash where someone comes out and they talk to a woman comes out talking crazy. Everyone looks up. Everyone wants to put their 2 cents and add fuel to the fire. So hopefully, it's none of that. I must stress too for everybody who's going to be paying attention to this and watching this. Please, if you haven't voted, if you haven't registered to vote, register now. Get your registration in, man. We in some times where we need to be there, letting our voice be heard. We got that nut in the White House, and shit, we need to get him out of there. Point blank, period. Yo, you know what's so crazy? The crazy thing is, I haven't, and as crazy as it sounds, I have not I not even say I have not. It was the what was it? The 19th? Was it the 19th anniversary? Yeah, the 19th anniversary of the World Trade Centers, that tragedy. It didn't even feel like it this year. I don't know. Let me know. Did y'all think like did y'all feel it? I didn't feel it this year. I really didn't. And it's almost like I didn't. It's like no one really cared either. Because you're used to seeing the president, whoever's sitting in the presidency, usually goes down to the memorial. They do the whole thing that they do, and I work down there, so it's like I don't even know. I didn't even feel it. I see walking through it. I would go out for lunch, and I seen all of the Secret Service. I guess that's what they call, but they were there. But it definitely didn't feel like years passed. Um, Jesus. I guess what else has been going on? Shout out to Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry became a billionaire. His story is dope, man. I mean, from rags to riches for real. And he really built himself up. And shout out to Tyler Perry for that one. I like those type of stories, man, where you make something out of nothing. Those stories to me are the best stories. Um, Also, yesterday they R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman. They laid him to rest near his home in South Carolina. So R.I.P. to that man there. Prayers are still to his family. Hope everybody finds strength. Um, what else been going on this week, man? See, there was a lot of stuff going on. Let's talk about Breonna Taylor's family taking the settlement, man. Am I mad that they took the settlement? It's $12 million more that they'll probably never see in their life. Um, do I think that them taking the money sort of not it sort of not helps the case? It's sort of like now that's hush money. Um, but hopefully there is those cops are still investigated. But they don't need to have a job. Those cops don't need to have a job at all. Those were rogue cops. No matter how you put it, those are rogue cops. Reform. The city of Louisville is talking about police reform, and that's fine, and it's good. But we don't need it. They don't need. Those cops should not have a job at all. At all. There should be no anything. Yeah, so when that went down, I was a little taken back. Some other big news that came to me. I don't know if you guys been paying attention to it. Some other big news was Maya Moore. Maya Moore, she's a former UConn standout women's basketball player. She's a hell of a basketball player for the Minnesota Lynx. And so a few years ago, she put her career on hold to help exonerate this black man. He goes by the name of Jonathan Irons, and she put her career on hold, and she helped free him from prison this summer. Fast forward a few months, she ends up marrying the brother. And that, to me, man, I love that type of story as well. She married him this weekend, man, and You know, a love story like that's like from a book, man. You know, so I can see where the connection was probably made, and she's seen the strength in that man, and I know she's a God fearing woman. But he was in jail for 23 years, man, wrongfully convicted, um, and she stood by him, and I'm happy for that, man. So shout out to Myra Moore. I really want to see her get back on the court because she is so cold. Um, and they knew each other for the last 13 years, so there was time. I guess they spent some time, and there was time. That's a lot of years to be together. So I'm happy for her. I'm happy for him, man. And God bless their union. On the entertainment side. Let's see. What else happened? Talk about some music, man. I know I'm waiting for that new Drake album. Shout out to all the Drake fans. To me, Drake is the greatest right now. Let's talk about that Patti LaBelle and Gladys Knight battle, man. It wasn't a battle to me. It was definitely a sermon. It was a revival of two of our queen mothers. Um, so to me it wasn't a battle. I loved every part of it. I think verses have definitely helped us through this whole pandemic. Um, yeah, it definitely got us through. If you can't say it hasn't. Definitely got us through. I'm looking for the next one. Mm. Another thing too, there was something going on with I think Swiss Beats said something about Janet Jackson. Um, Here's the thing: Janet Jackson is such an icon. It's hard to put her against someone, especially if they're not an icon. You have stars, right? You have big stars, but there's not a lot of icons out there. She's an icon, so they have to match her to me with another icon who's willing to step on that side. And sort of like the Brandy and Monica, man. Those are huge icons. Those are huge figure in music. Yeah, man. I feel like I like that. I like what Versus does, man. Um, I know the world is going crazy over this Travis Scott stuff, man. This Travis Scott McDonald's meal uh, causing shortages out here in the world. That's funny, man. The kids love it. You know, want to. It's a $6 meal, so eat it in moderation. That's all I ask for. Yo, but I think it's gonna be cool, man. Things are starting to pick up a little bit. You know, um, in the world of entertainment, we're going off of that. Uh, I think. Oh, shout out to 50 Cent too. Now I live in Jamaica, Queens. I frequent the Burger King that he went to and dropped $30,000 um, on the coworkers there. I frequent that one. That's one of the burger. That's the Burger King I use. I think that was pretty dope for him to go and drop 30 grand on 5, 6 employees, man. You know, I hopefully they do the best with it. Yeah. So let's talk about. Man, I know everybody wants to get into it. I'm on Facebook and everybody. I mean, today I was called out on Facebook. I was minding my business, and everyone's talking about sports, and the real truth is I haven't debated sports in probably a good year and a half. Like I haven't debated, LeBron. I haven't debated Kawhi. I may throw my little puns out there and certain shit that he does, like certain shit that LeBron does that will piss me off. And it's crazy because I have no choice but to root for him because he's on my team. But I still don't root for him. Like it's still things that he do that it just pisses me off. Like you know, um, but the news is like he plays for my team, so I can't. I just don't like all the other people now who are LeBron James fans, but are now rooting for the Lakers. That bothers me because I was never a fucking Miami Heat fan because Shaq went to the Miami Heat. So it's different things. Different is people's different. I know my loyalty and where it stands. If you know me, never been a LeBron fan. But ill thing is, the baseball sort of came up with their own bubble, and I think that's pretty cool that they're going to be doing a bubble. I think one's going to be in California and where's the other one? Texas, California, and Texas. So one is going to be in California and one's going to be in Arlington, Texas, man. And I think that's pretty dope. My Yankees are starting to win a few games. So hopefully, we can at least get in as as a wild card or something, man. We got to start winning some games. We just need players to get healthy at that. Because we're second in our division. Chicago White Sox is killing everything. Oakland Astros is killing everything. The Dodgers are killing everything. So, we got some things that we got to work on and to get us back out there. I just heard today that one of the referees, well, in baseball's umpires, one of the umpires tested positive for coronavirus. So that right there can slow things down. Yeah. So that can slow things down. I don't know if anybody's been watching, the WNBA. Let me tell you something. I love the WNBA. I watch the WNBA more than I watch the NBA. And I didn't really watch the NBA. It's my own political reasons, my own reasons I didn't watch it like that. I catch highlights, but I didn't watch it at all. I didn't watch full games. Actually, watched my first full game last night. So I sort of just gave in and was, watched the full game. It was still terrible. I think the NBA bubble basketball is the EBC. I think the NBA is the EBC. I don't think, cause it's just, I drop 50 on you, you drop 50 on me, and we go be friends about it. Get some highlights for my highlight tape. So I think that's what I think personally. That's what the NBA is. But let's talk about I'm talking about the WNBA. The WNBA cold, man. Those players are so cold, man. I love it, man. I love Candace Parker. I love White Mamba, Diana Taurasi. Breonna Stewart is tough, so tough. We missing Elena Delle Donne this year. She sat out because of health reasons and complications from Lyme disease. Skylar Diggins started coming on late, coming hot, but my favorite player in the WNBA, right, is a rookie. Cold. From Atlanta Dream. And her name is Kennedy Carter. She reminds me of Allen Iverson. It's just something about her bounce, the way she bounces with that ball. In 2-3 years, she's probably going to be a top 5 player in the WNBA. Kennedy Carter is so fucking dope, man. So tough. She's tough out there. I like the Gumige sisters, even though one of them is sitting out. Um, Dewana Bonner, I love Dewana Bonner's game. I always loved it, even when she was on Phoenix. She's on the Connecticut Suns now, and she goes to work out there. But her game is strictly all hustle. She got some move. Alyssa Thomas too, who she plays on Connecticut with her. She's a tough to deal with, man. Tough to deal with. So the playoffs are starting. Um, I think the Storm got the number one seed, and no, they didn't get the number one seed. Uh, Let me look this up really quick. I I think oh, the Aces got the number one seed. The Aces got some killers over there too. Um, Asia Wilson, tough, tough. Um, I think her name is De'Erica. De'Erica. I don't want to say her name. I know I'm saying her name wrong, but she is cold, cold, cold too. Um, yeah, she's cold. She's 100% cold. I mean, they also have, who else is that Aces have that's cold? They have Liz Cambage, right? She set out this year. If she was on that team this year and the way they played this year, it's crazy. They got Angel McCarthy over there. They're stacked, man. Kelsey Plum set out this year. She tore her ACL or her Achilles. They're tough, man. It's going to be a hard beat. But, all things is LA with me on the basketball side. So I'm definitely rocking with the Sparks to take it home. They got Derek Fisher as a coach. He played with the Mamba. He played with Diesel. So he got 5 of those rings too. So I'm definitely rocking with them, man. Football kicked off this weekend. Uh, for those who don't know, I am a Patriots fan. I've been a Patriots fan for the longest. And just because Tom Brady left doesn't mean that I'm leaving. Cam Newton is. I went to junior college with Cam Newton. We both went to Blinn in Texas. Listen, it's a big guy, man. And I knew that he was capable of doing what he was capable of doing. You know? He's gonna hit some rough and that's that win is a testament to Bill Belichick. Say what you want to say. Oh, he cheats, he does this, he does that. For him, the way he changed the playbook for Cam so he could be successful is, to me, that's one of Bill Belichick's best attributes about him. He did the same thing with Randy Moss, did the same thing with Gronk. So he definitely, he's a Hall of Famer by far. I know I lost a few games in fantasy. Fucking Odell Beckham. It's over, man. Yo, man, your days is short, man. I don't know why you are the elite. To me, you haven't done shit since you made that one hand catch in New York. Odell Beckham, I don't know what you're doing. You partying, you letting girls doodle on you and all that shit I heard this weekend. You need to get it together, bro. You fucking me up in fantasy, man. I picked you 2 years in a row, man. Get it right, bro. Shit. Fuck me up, man. Yeah, so football started, man. Good games. It was a lot of good games this weekend, man. A lot of good games. We don't talk about it a lot, man. I don't think people talk about Russell Wilson a lot. Russell Wilson is so fucking. He's a bad man out there. A bad man. A bad man, yo. And no one talks about him like that. And he's always should be considered, man. He, to me, it could be in the top 5 when it comes to quarterbacks. Easily. So, we easing on in the sports world. We had what did we have this weekend? It's right on the tip of my tongue. Mm, I just went freaking blank. Oh, tennis. Tennis. Tennis was dope, man. I like tennis. I don't know a lot of people. I can't watch a full tennis match. I like it when it's getting down to the you know to those points that really matter, man. I love tennis. I love that. I like Naomi Osaka. I like how what she brings to the game. For years we had Serena and Venus, and those are our queens who represented for us. But I like the way this young girl is carrying herself. She definitely was a walking Activision this weekend. She wore every damn near almost every one of our black brothers and sisters who were murdered unlawfully by the police. She wore that on her face, so that's big for her. I feel like that was big for us, and that win was for us. And she's so humble. She's humble. She's a humble queen. Um, so I think that's dope, man. And she definitely that tribute when she wore that Kobe Bryant jersey at the end, man. That just shows you, man, that Mamba mentality can go it can transfer to any sport, man. That Mamba mentality can go to any sport. So yeah, I love that about that, man. Like, let me know what y'all thought about that game. And then we had the good old NBA. Matter of fact, before we get into that, we're gonna take a um, quick break, and then we're gonna come back to and we're gonna talk some NBA. This is what everybody want to talk about. Um, yeah, everybody wants to talk about it, so we're gonna get into it. Um, and I'll be right back in a flash. All right, I'm back. We're gonna be talking about this NBA and things that are going on in the NBA. If we can start from the weekend, right? No, Did they play this weekend? Did NBA play this weekend? No. They didn't play this weekend. No, they did play this weekend. Start with the Lakers and the Rockets. I think that game, to me, it was more easier for the Lakers because that small ball line. When teams play small ball, it's sort of you really have to have the right players out on the floor when you play small ball because there's always going to be a weakness. It's always going to be a weakness when you're playing small ball. You have James Harden and Russell Westbrook. Then you have PJ Tucker, Robert Covington. That's a small lineup. When you're definitely going against the Lakers, where you have Rondo. I don't even know who started. I mean, who started that game? Either or, it's a small. They were too small for the Lakers, and they don't play no defense. Even though that's a Mike D'Antoni staple that his team doesn't play defenses. They're successful during the year. So as much as I want to blame him, I can't blame him because he's not playing. The players have to execute. That's simple. Players have to execute. So as petty as people can be and blame him, I'm not blaming him because it's the players. Now, am I saying his players suck? No. See, what I was reading a lot this weekend was a lot of players who I thought were players who had sense. But then again, I can't take people who never played or who never actually played for something. I can't take, I take it with a grain of salt because, one, when you're talking about players who are in the NBA, they're in the NBA for a reason. Two, if you got your ass on that court, they're going to cut your ass. Three, they're in the NBA. But this one particular player was getting flacked. And it was like, do y'all know what y'all talking about? And that one particular player was Russell Westbrook. Let me give you some Russell Westbrook stats. So you guys who think Russell Westbrook is how do you say? A bum? Because that's what a lot of people were saying. Oh, he's a bum. He's this and he's that. And it bothered the shit out of me. So, this year alone. So this year, Russell Westbrook averaged 27, 8, and 7. Shot 47% from the field. He's never been a good three-point shooter, right? For his career, he's averaged 23, 7, and 8. And he's a 43. He shoots 43% from the field. Now, for the I don't want to call you guys out, but you guys are something special. Russell Westbrook, right, before he got to Houston, right, he averaged a triple-double for 3 straight years. 25, 10, and 10, and 16, 17, right? No, let me get this right. He averaged these stats right. All right, I got the stats. Hold on, I got the stats. All right, got the stats down pat. Pardon me. Pardon me. I want to make sure that I'm 100% correct with this. All right, this is the Punch Drunk. This is the Punch Drunk show. I want to make sure I'm not punch drunk. There's a lot of people out there is punch drunk, man. All right, when you're throwing out things like Russell Westbrook sucks. Let's figure this out. So from 2014, he averaged 28, 8, and 7. 2015, he averaged 23, 10, and 8. 2015-16, he averaged 31, 10, and 7. 2016-17, he averaged 25, 10, and 10. 2017-18, he averaged 22, 10, and 11. 2018-19, he averaged 22, 10, and 11. He averaged this year 27, 7, and 9. That's with a James Harden who's damn near shooting every possession. Now, is Russell Westbrook a type of player that wants to be the number two? No. That's his game is not to be the number two option. He does. I don't think he know. I think that's what ran Kevin Durant out of Oklahoma. He's not. He doesn't want to be. He's too dominant of a person to be the number two option. I think that has a lot to do with this year, the way they crumbled in the playoffs. And that's part that, he deserves to get the backlash of, yo, you ain't do shit or you bummed it in the playoffs. But I'm not going to go out on the limb and say, yo, you trash. No. No, I'm not gonna do that. Can I say the bubble wasn't friendly to a lot of players? Yeah. A lot of players didn't look like themselves in the bubble. I feel a lot of players probably was just playing just to feed their families. Not caring. Not saying that Russell Westbrook needs the money. He doesn't need the money. He probably doesn't touch his checks from the NBA. He probably lives off his endorsements. But for the notion for cats all around the world to be saying he's a bum, when you know for damn sure that if your team is one of these the bottom teams, your team will have, if they had a chance to get him, they're going to take him. And it's not a GM in the world who's going to turn down a Russell Westbrook talent, and that's real. That's real. All right, so him being a bum is no. What Houston needs to do, because it's hard for them to trade, it's going to be hard for them to trade Harden. That's a no-no. His contract is $250 million. They're not trading him. Russell Westbrook's contract, I think, was $200 million. So let's look it up. Yeah, his contract was 5 years, 206 million. They're not trading him at all. So what they need to do is they need to get a coach that is defensive friendly and who knows how to draw up plays for their players to score. They don't need a coach who's just going to tell James Harden just go out there and take 18 dribbles and then if they close out on you, pass the ball. That's just not going to work. They're never going to win. They're hey, hey, mom, mom, mom. What the fuck is that noise? I'm a mom here. Mom, mommy, mom. Take a little bit, man. Take a little. Put that in there, man. You gotta be you listening to Garth Brooks. Yeah, they're not trading him. All right. So that collapse was all the players. It wasn't the coach for me. The players collapsed. So let's get to that game one of Miami Boston. Now I was thinking Boston was gonna win. But then I forgot about Jimmy Butler and how dangerous he is at any time. That's exactly what he proved to be. Fourth quarter and overtime, he took over. Now, for years, I've been telling people that Jimmy Butler is a top two-way player in the league. It's him, and there's Kawhi as the top two players that play both ways. And he doesn't even he doesn't even shoot the ball 30 times to get. You'll look at the box score and he has 26, and he shot the ball like 13 times, right? And that's the great part of it. That's the great thing about Jimmy Butler. So what I seen from the highlights of it, from watching the game last night, is that Kemba needs to be more aggressive. I know he has another budding superstar next to him and Jason Tatum, but Marcus Smart shouldn't be taking the most shots from at the guard position. Marcus Smart is a good player, but they don't pay Marcus Smart to shoot the ball. How many shots did he shoot? Marcus Smart shot the ball 18 times. And he was hitting. He hit 6 threes last night. Right? Kemba shot 19 times. Jaylen Brown shot 14 times. Kemba was 1 for 9 from three-point line. That's just telling me you're not getting in the flow of offense. So with you shooting the ball 19 times and the majority of those shots came in the final minutes of the fourth quarter after I was watching, and they came in at in overtime. You're not getting into the flow of the game, so you need to shoot that ball some more in order for to make this a series because that young boy in Miami, that young boy, that young boy in Miami, Tyler Hero and Goran Dragic, they're not coming. They're not coming to just be there. Home, listen, Goran Dragic was going to wherever he wanted to go last night, and he put 29 on you last night, brother. So you need to get it right. If you don't get it right, it's gonna be hard for y'all to win this series, man. I like to see Jason Tatum too. I want to see him operate in the mid range a little bit. I feel like he takes a lot of step back threes. I feel that's a lot of that, the new age thing is dribbles, and step back. I know it's a hard shot to defend, but the move that he made at the end of the fourth quarter at the buzzer, if he would have caught if he was in position to catch that ball when he was at the top of the I want to say at the where was he at? Wasn't there? If he could have got himself somewhere near the center circle, right, or high post or the elbow, then made that move. Because when I'm watching that move, it was short. The shot was short at the end. He shorted it. So if he makes that same move, and it's almost like if he can get if the coach draw up a play where he is 1-on-1 with that, and he's occupying that bottom right defender and taking him away and him making that step back a little bit, that makes the step back a little easier. And I feel that shot goes in. But when you're taking, it's something about these 30-foot step back shots that I don't like, and that may be because I'm just never been a guard who can make that shot. But to me, I still don't like it. So I feel like he needs to get a little closer to that basket, work inside out. To me. So that game was good, man, especially at the end. At the end where, Bam Adebayo, man, that block was amazing. It's probably one of the best blocks I've ever seen. Yeah, definitely one of the best blocks I've ever seen. Yeah, it was big time. That was big time. Real big time. So let's get into that game 7, the Clippers versus the Nuggets. The Clippers versus the Nuggets, man. That was so good of a game that I wasn't shocked that the Clippers lost. It's more shocked in how much the Nuggets were able to put up. See, the Nuggets have been. First of all, let me welcome everybody who's a LeBron James fan. Let me welcome y'all to the West. All right, welcome to the Western Conference. This is what happens in the Western Conference, where you have 5 or 6 teams that can come out. I know you used to be in the Eastern Conference where LeBron's going to win all the time. Doesn't happen like that on the West Coast, man. Doesn't happen like that. So I'm not surprised that the Nuggets is representing in the Western Conference. Definitely not. I seen how tough they are, and they're going to be a tough outing for the Lakers because they have some dogs. You understand? And that X factor of a player is they have two of them, Michael Porter Jr. and Will Barton. Those guys come to play. Let's see everybody celebrating. Oh, it's a walk in the park for LeBron to the to the championship. The championship is his. Did you just see this team take two teams to the 7 games and they pulled out? There ain't no walk in the park for the Lakers. It's the Western Conference. It's not gonna happen like that. You guys are so used to the East. So if you're gonna root for my team, be easy. Let's trust the process a little bit because it can easily go the wrong way for us. Them boys is hungry, and they out to prove something. And trust me, LeBron ain't thinking this is a cakewalk because you know what? They're gonna throw bodies at him. They're gonna throw bodies at AD. And it's going to be a dogfight. Be a dogfight. Now, with the Clippers losing, who is to blame? Everyone says blame Doc. I don't blame Doc. I don't blame Doc all the way, to be honest. And a lot of people say this was a championship or bust type of year for the Clippers. Let me dispatch that rumor. Let me dispatch that notion. That notion there doesn't sit for me because they put so many new players together that wasn't there. Now, let's use Kawhi going to the Raptors. What was different about that was that there was already a culture there. A culture there that was established. I don't think the Clipper culture wasn't established yet, especially as they're coming off of a Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, Lou Williams, Jamal Crawford. That team there, that was championship or bust type of team because they were together so long. Now you put Kawhi, Paul George, Patrick Beverly, Montreal, Lou Williams. There's really no chemistry like that. They got to build that chemistry. Kawhi sits out more games than anything. Now, is that a good thing? To me, it's showing me that that's not a good thing because you're not really developing chemistry with your guys like that. So when it came to that game, watching last night, it didn't seem like nobody wanted to play. It seemed like they were just out there running through the motions. Where, as they were up 15 one time, and Jamal Murray scored 20 in the second quarter by himself, and got the game back into under 2 points, 2 or 4 points. And I'm like, who's going to defend? Kawhi was defending. Paul George was defending. Patrick Beverly was defending. And then Jokic was out there doing what he wanted to do. Jokic, to me, is one of the most underrated players in the league. And after watching last night's game, Jokic should be in the discussion for being one of the top 5 best basketball players in the league. Simple. Nothing else. So they put up 104 on these guys. Jokic had a triple-double. Jamal Murray had an efficient 40 points. efficient. Jeremy Grant, efficient. Paul Millsap, right? Gary Harris. So if Michael Porter Jr. comes to play, oh, let me tell you who else stunk the floor up. Markieff Morris. You need to come to the head of the congregation to have a conversation. Markieff Morris, senior. Is it Markieff or Marcus? I want to make sure I'm getting the right one. Let me make sure. Marcus Morris. I haven't seen you hit one jump shot since you've been on the Clippers. And you were supposed to be, hired help. They gave up some picks and some players for you from the Knicks. And you looked like you was ready to just go jump in some pussy after the game. You wasn't out there to play. And I was like, are you going to hit a shot? Kept saying to that to myself, you going to hit a shot? You going to hit a shot? No, you never hit a shot. So yeah, they gotta find something to do. They gotta gel, man. They have to gel. With that type of team, it's a lot of uncertainty because you have Montrezl Harris, who's going to be free agent this year, who's going to demand the bag. So there's a big chance he's not going to be there. Lou Williams. To me, he looked like, pardon my yawn. He looked like he regressed a little bit. He was missing chippies. I mean, I seen he had a wide open layup. He beat Torrey Craig to the rim, and he blew the whole layup. So there's some regression that's happening. Hopefully, Doc. At the end of the day, Doc is gonna get the blame. Coaches is always gonna get the blame. As players, you're out there to perform, and when you don't perform, this is the type of stuff that happens. So I was not going to wasn't going to be like, oh, this is easy, going to be easy for LeBron, because it's not. Because you got to worry about your players showing up. Sometimes rest isn't a good thing. Because now these players are still hot and they still in the rhythm. So they can come out on fire. Where now you guys got to work yourself back into a rhythm. It's still my team, man. Lakers still my team. And if we win this, man, we doing it for Kobe. But I'm not going to sit there and let's dispatch the notion of, because Kawhi lost, if it was LeBron, it'd be crazy. It would be crazy. Because LeBron is being mentioned with the greats. Being mentioned as one of the greats, as a top 5 great. So, of course, he's going to get more backlash. That's the shoes that he's in. Nothing else. You can't say nothing else about that. And people are posting, LeBron went to the Game 7, whatever, and won every one. Is that a good thing that he's in a Game 7? That he went to the most Game 7s? I don't know if that's a good thing. I guess it depends on the speaker and the listener. But me in my book, Game 7s aren't a good thing. You want to get rid of those teams early. Yeah, I think people are too lost in that whole comparison thing with LeBron and Kawhi. LeBron is going to get backlash until he retires. And people need to get rid of that. I know everyone wants to come and save him from the backlash. Some of the backlash he deserves. He puts himself out there. But some of it is just come with the territory. Now, if LeBron lost, if Kawhi won last night, no one says nothing. If LeBron lose Game 1, what's going to be said? Oh, it's only Game 1. Right? It'd be like that. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting series, both of these series. And I want everyone, stay in tune, man. Stay in tune to this Punch Drunk show. It's definitely going to get better, and it's going to be more fun. I'm gonna have some guests. Um, I wanted to get this out tonight. Um, I wasn't really all the way prepared. I'm doing it from my kitchen of the Punch Drunk show. Um, but I'm gonna post this thing. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. I'm gonna post it on Facebook. Subscribe. Take a look at it. If you want to argue, you want to debate some things, leave a message on it. Let's talk about some things. All right. Definitely signing off. Right. And everybody just going to have to. I want everyone remember. If you haven't voted, vote. You need to get registered, man. And remember, don't wait for your dreams. Chase them. Put God first. And we'll be back with the Punch Drunk Show. I'm doing Monday, episode 3. And I am the one and only Big Mark, signing off. One love.